A school teacher who has always wanted a baby of her own gets a bit jealous when her coworkers start getting pregnant, and so through a series of events, she ends up pretending to be pregnant herself. Let's talk about the new Amy Schumer comedy on Netflix, Kinda Pregnant. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new Amy Schumer movie, Kinda Pregnant. This is streaming now on Netflix, and this features not only Amy Schumer, and she co-wrote it as well, but we have Will Forte here as her love interest, Jillian Bell as one of her good friends, Brienne Howie, who you may know from another Netflix thing, Ginny in Georgia. She is one of the regulars on there, and a few other people maybe you don't know, and then some very minor roles from Damon Wayans Jr., Alex Moffat, and Dave Attell. Dave Attell, I guess, has he appeared in all of the Amy Schumer stuff? Because he was in Trainwreck, I know that. They must be friends. But anyway, we will get into the specifics here of this movie in just a second and my thoughts on it. First, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are one of my Dan Reviews subscribers already, thank you so much for that. Love having you guys return. But if you're not, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell too. You can just like this video or comment below as well. That stuff, of course, helps the channel, and I love interacting with you guys in the comments. So let me know what your thoughts are on this movie. Look, I know there's a lot of Amy Schumer haters out there. She seems to be one of the more polarizing comedians out there, and just celebrities in general, I guess. People seem to really not like her en masse. I am not one of those people. In fact, I've given most of her movies positive grades. Trainwreck, I think I gave a B+. I liked Snatched a lot. I think that was like in the B- range. She had a recent show on Hulu, Life and Beth, that I enjoyed. So I'm absolutely not an Amy Schumer hater, but I have to say up front, this movie is not very good. So we'll start there. But it's not because of her necessarily, although she co-wrote the script, so I guess a little bit, right? So like I said up front, the plot conceit is that she is a school teacher, and in the very first scene, we see her as a kid pretending to be pregnant and have a baby. So this is something that we know this character has always wanted. Her name is Lainey, I think, right? Lainey Newton, yeah. And so she realizes that, oh man, I am really, really wanting this baby once she breaks up with Damon Wayans Jr.'s character. She thinks he's going to propose marriage. He asks her out to this nice fancy dinner. He proposes something else. She is not a fan, and so she leaves him. And so right then, people are getting pregnant around her in her orbit, and she just sort of is not having it mentally. So she helps her friend Jillian Bell at the maternity store, and she sees one of these like the fake plastic belly kind of things, or cotton or whatever, and tries it on, see how she looks in the mirror as a pregnant woman. She likes what she sees, and she decides to take that and attend a pregnant yoga class, and as a result makes a really good friend there who now thinks that she is pregnant. So she's caught herself in a web of lies, and it turns out the Will Forte character, who she meets early in the film, is also this woman's brother. So now she's got the hots for this guy and has to pretend to him that she's pregnant. So it's one of these movies where it's a series of sort of miscommunications and lies, and it's very predictable in that way. But it's also just not very funny. So this was directed by Adam Sandler's nephew. It's a Happy Madison production, which I didn't think too much about. But then looking it up, it was directed by Tyler Spindell, and I was like, why do I know that name? He directed two other Netflix movies that I gave an F to and a D to, which was the Outlaws with Adam Devine and Pierce Brosnan, and The Wrong Missy with David Spade. This one, I will say, is slightly better than those two. So maybe this Tyler is going in the right direction. But he just doesn't seem to know his way around a comedy. All three of these comedies really involve sort of either mistaken identities or some sort of big secret, and then there is a little bit of action involved. The Outlaws was really an action movie. There's just more like comedic pratfalls and running around stores to when you spot the woman who thinks you're pregnant but you're not wearing your pregnant suit, so you have to kind of run around the store. So there's like more of that type of comedy, just sort of zany, mishap and pratfall type comedy. In fact, there's a couple literal pratfalls in this movie. But this is a film that you really need to just, if you're going to enjoy it, you have to just accept that this is the world, that these people live in. There's in no way that the Amy Schumer character would be a teacher. The way she treats her students, the way she curses in class, all of this stuff. There's just no way. But this is one of these movies where it's like, all right, I guess for the sake of the comedy, I'll let that go. But the problem is it's not funny either. If it's funny, we could sort of let some of that stuff go, right? Like Bad Teacher, I love with Cameron Diaz. I think that's a very funny movie, but the comedy is there. Here it's really just not. She comes off as mean, and to her friends, she also comes off as mean. There's also one woman in here who is kind of funny, played by Ursula Carlson, who I'm not familiar with. She was part of the Masked Singer panel in her native country, but she is very much reminiscent of like a Rebel Wilson type. She's from Australia, so they have sort of similar accents, I guess. Or is she from New Zealand? This gal, well, wherever she's from. I don't know, but she has that thick accent that sometimes does lend itself to comedy, just the way she says something. But it was very reminiscent of like a Rebel Wilson type sidekick character. Like in Bridesmaids or whatever. She's in it a little more than that, but it just reminded me like, okay, they were looking for that archetype, and they certainly found one, I guess. She does lend to some of the comedy. It's interesting because I think there is some messaging here about being pregnant and how hard that is and all of this. And there could have been maybe something about how hard it is to get pregnant as well. For some people that could have been, one of the avenues they went. And there is, some comedy in there. I mean, Friends, did it very well. But this just went down the lowest common denominator route every single time. And therefore it is, for me, easily the worst Amy Schumer movie I've seen, at least where she is the star. I don't know, she may have a minor role in something I liked worse. But the positive here is that it is better than the other two Tyler Spindell directed movies, which you can also see on Netflix if you want. So with that in mind, I will leave this with the slightly better D+ for Kinda Pregnant. Not very good, but look, if you liked The Wrong Missy, you like that type of movie, maybe you'll enjoy this. For the Schumer haters, certainly stay away, I would say. But even for the Schumer lovers, I don't know. All right, thanks for watching Day of Reviews, and I'll see you next time.